Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Rob Schneider!
You can do it all night long.
Sure, hit the ground running.
Why not? Get that out of the way before everyone else yells it out. Thank you. Nice to have all of you here. I don't know who you were expecting to see today, but I'm glad I could fill in.
Having a good show so far?
Yeah, it's just nice talking to people who have seen my movies. It's fun because they remember some of the things, some of the movies that I thought were like gigantic piece of shit. It's like, no, dude, I liked it. And I said, oh, I thought that Surf Ninjas was like my gay porno without the sex. But anyway, but no, I mean, there's some moments that were fun and stuff, but I just remember, running out of money on like that movie, where we had to have a scene with a boat, and we didn't have money for a boat, so we had some guy paint a boat on a piece of wood, and that was our boat, and we just cut to the interior, which wasn't a boat. But anyways, but it's just, sometimes the funny things you remember.
It's movie magic.
Yeah, movie brokenness or whatever you want to call it. But it's fun, I mean, some of the stuff is I still laugh at, like, what do you think of? And it was just because you get stuck, and then you got to figure your way out. I mean, on 50 First Dates, when, like, Drew Barrymore's going to hit me with a baseball bat, and Adam Sandler's on the ground, and that was in the script, and then, like, we didn't realize Drew Barrymore has to drive up, and she's not a very good driver, and she's got to get out of the car, and they grab a baseball bat, and it's taking for effing ever. And it's like, well, we got to come up with some dialogue, because clearly she's not as fast for a 5'2" actress in heels. We had to come up with some dialogue. So, and then some of that just stayed in the picture, like, you make my sister come here, clean your hotel room, you come over here, eat our pineapple, and stuff like that. And then she had a real baseball bat with like a rubber around it, and then she really enjoyed hitting me. The stunt guy came over and said, dude, there's welts on your back. You want me to tell her to ease up? And I was like, nah, she seems to be really enjoying this. But I was shooting it where we were shooting the, I said, this looks really familiar. It was in Hawaii, in Oahu. And this looks really familiar. Where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, this is where they did the running of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. And I went, holy shit. I love that movie. So as soon as I could, I just started, when she was hitting me, I started running. I started running just like the dinosaurs were running. And then she started chasing me, and that's how and then they started moving the cameras, and that's how they added that part. So, sometimes, doing something because it seems really stupid and funny ends up being in the movie forever.
What did you enjoy more, the weekly grind? Did you enjoy the weekly grind of SNL more than movie making?
Yeah, well, SNL was fun because I didn't know if I was really in show business while I was on SNL. I thought, am I really in show business? And so then, you start seeing people who are on the show doing movies, and that just seems so surreal to me. A movie? How do you get a movie? What do you do when you're in a movie? And then, I remember Adam Sandler got a movie. It was a piece of crap, but it was a movie. It was called The Unsinkable Shecky Moskowitz or something. I mean, it's like, if you can find it, I'll get your 25 cents back. But it's like, just to be able to make a movie, and then like, that's the thing about Saturday Night Live is it prepared us to figure out you have to write the sketch yourself. So if you can write a sketch, you can eventually write a movie. And then, so it's been fun. I mean, then you try to do some interesting stuff if you can.
We've got a mic in the center here if anybody's got some questions. So please hop up and...
Hello, Rob. Thanks for coming to Michigan.
Thank you.
Just wondering, I've seen almost all your movies, and I do enjoy them. My favorite, though, was Beverly Hillbillies.
Really?
Yeah,
so that's one of the ones that were like, ooh.
Love it.
You do?
What was it like working with Jim Varney, and what memories do you have?
Jim Varney was very nice. He didn't get the respect I felt that he deserved because he really is a funny guy. And I think the director didn't like him. Penelope Spheres, she's not a nice director. I would never work with her again, and I hope she hears this. She was a miserable person. And you're trying to make a comedy with somebody yelling at him. She kept yelling at him, and he finally just turned off. And he's a lovely guy. He didn't deserve that. I finally quit. I said, I'm done. I said, I'm not dealing with your shit anymore. And I left. And then the vice president of Paramount said, what's going on, Rob? And I said, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. She's just a miserable person. And then they worked it out so she couldn't talk to me for the rest of the movie. Now, if you're an actor, don't do that because they can get it, as Jay Leno told me. You don't think they get another Jay Leno? They get another Jay Leno tomorrow. They eventually did, so we're all replaceable. But at the same time, you don't have to take abuse. And she wasn't very nice. And I feel sorry for Jim Varney because he was a lovely guy. The only thing I remember about Jim really was me and him were both in a chicken coop, not wanting to be in a chicken coop because they're just shitting and spitting and just like screaming in your ear. It was like, good Lord, I didn't eat chickens. I didn't eat chicken for 5 years after that. But he was a lovely guy.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
What do you prefer more as a performer? Do you prefer performing in front of a live audience or on a closed set?
Whatever's going good. Sometimes if you're working like with Adam Sandler and something's really going good, then that's the best. When two actors are raising their game together and you're like, and trying to make each other laugh in a scene, and I just see his smiles start to go up and he turns away from camera. I go, I got this mother effer. That's fun. But live audience is good too. I remember on Saturday Night Live, him and I we went out when we started out making $750 a week in New York. It's like you can't live on that. And but that's what we were making as writers when we first got hired there. And then we started making money, $1,500 a week, and we had girlfriends. We could afford girlfriends at that point. We took them out to dinner in like Little Italy, and it was like, it was unbelievable. It was like, okay, how are we gonna pay for this? Okay, I'll get the appetizer, whatever. I'll split an appetizer with you. We'll get one entree. We say we're not that hungry, and the girls can eat whatever the hell they want, and we'll just get like a glass of wine each, whatever. So we're working this shit out. We don't have a lot of money. And anyway, so we walked into the Italian restaurant, and the waiters were all over us, like bellissima, and they were just, I thought because we were famous, but they were actually just trying to make out with our girlfriends. Bellissima, bellissima, oh bellissima, oh bella, bella. And then I thought it was, a little bit horny. But then the next week, Rob Smigel and him come into my office about literally 2:30 in the morning, giggling and drooling all over themselves, and they couldn't stop. But you gotta read this. And it was the Italian waiter sketch that we did, basically, where the waiters are basically just, they come into the restaurant and they're just humping your girlfriends. And it was a very famous sketch with Kirstie Alley. And I remember when we were filming it or taping it live, the censor came up to me and said, please, Mr. Schneider. I said, oh, this must be, he's calling Mr. Please don't turn your ass to the camera, please, because I was thinking, I don't want to get fired, please, I don't know, this is how I make my living, please. So I didn't. And then, but I remember we were 2 feet away from each other. We were looking at each other during the sketch, and we couldn't hear each other talk, even though we knew the lines, because the audience was laughing so hard. And that's like that's a memory I'll take with me. That's my favorite memory on that show. It was me and him looking at each other like, ooh, this is no good.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you. I think I'm talking way too long for these answers.
No, it's good.
Yes.
What was your favorite Adam Sandler cameo movie?
What was my favorite Adam Sandler what?
Cameo.
Cameo.
Oh, cameo. Well, sometimes I just showed up to say hi, and that a-hole put me in the movie. And I showed up, I just got back from making a movie in Europe, and I came back and I was exhausted, and I go like, I get a message on my flip phone. Hey buddy, what are you doing? And I go, I just got back from like a freaking 10-hour flight, and he go, hey, you gotta just come over and say hi, Burt Reynolds is over here, dude, Tom DeLuise. And I said, well, I can't turn that down, so I go over, and as soon as I get there, dude, here's the Mexican outfit, you're going up and you're gonna be in the Mexican gang, and you're gonna yell out, gang bang in the shower. And I'm like, what? I just came by to say hi, you asshole. I swear to God, like 25 minutes I was doing it, and then and I'm hungover, like, why am I doing this? But anyway, he's impossible to say no to. He just is such a fun, incredibly, joyful person that he just talks you into doing very silly things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rob. Your comedy special, Soy Sauce and the Holocaust, was hilarious.
Thank you. I don't think it's my best work. I think I'm better now as a stand-up. And my wife had just had a baby. So, but thank you. I think there was some decent stuff in there. I was pushing a bit when I look at it now. But it's, I think the new stuff, the new stand-up special, the stuff I'm doing like for Real Rob on Netflix, the second season is going to be amazing. We spent a year and 9 months on 8 episodes. I remember talking to Jerry Seinfeld, because what happened was my wife and I saw, you didn't ask this question obviously, but anyway, I'm just going to go off. my wife and I saw Breaking Bad, the whole like 5 years in like a month, which is ridiculous, you know, because we just had the baby and we're up anyway. And so we looked at ourselves like, this is like the greatest show ever, and it has a nice arc to it. If they can do it with a drama, let's try to do it with a comedy. So we did our first season, which I was pretty good. My great friend Joseph Gatt was nice enough to be in it. There was a very good episode where it was called Gang and Shape, because my wife once said to me, like, you know, I said, why don't you go to the gym and work out? I said, I don't want a bunch of gay guys hitting on me. And she said, I think you're okay. And I said, well, you don't think gay guys would hit on me? So anyway, the whole episode is trying to get gay guys to hit on me. And Joseph Gatt plays the guy who runs the gym convention. He says, hey, listen, buddy, this is not a bar. You can't be hitting on guys in here. And I was thinking, it was very, very silly. And he was great in it. But so anyway, this next series, Netflix actually paid us for, and we're doing 8 episodes. Because I remember talking to Jerry Seinfeld many years ago. I did an episode of Seinfeld. He asked me to do one, and I was in Europe. I couldn't do it, to be the irritating pool guy. And I got back, and then he called me. I don't know. He just wanted me to. So I did one episode with him, and I said, Jerry, how do you do 24 great episodes? And he says, you don't. You do 6 that are good. You do another 6 that are okay. You do another 6 that you can live with. Then you do another 6, you hope your friends aren't in the country when it airs. And so I was like, you know, fuck, all right. And so, but for Netflix, we did 8 half-hour, not 20 minutes. Like, you know, the average series, when I did a series on CBS a couple of years ago, just Rob, that's why I call this one Real Rob. It's kind of my making fun of CBS, because it wasn't real, but they had me do. It's 20 minutes and 30 seconds on CBS. We do 30 minutes on Netflix, so it's awesome. It's like Fawlty Towers.
BBC style.
Yeah, and I actually, matter of fact, my hero is John Cleese from Monty Python. He's my hero, and I went and talked to him, get his blessing before we did the show, and it was really interesting. He said, did you write them all ahead of time before you shot them? I said, yes. Good, because you can get someplace interesting that way. I said, thank you, man. I said, you're my hero, blah, blah, blah. And he said, so it's the second season? I said, yes. Well, good, you know, the first season when I was writing it with my wife, the second season we wrote together, we were divorced. It's like, God, don't give me that. You know? I like my house. Thank you.
I was just wondering, though, if you have you're going to film any more specials for Netflix.
I'm doing another one soon. I'm figuring out. Adam Sandler, we're doing this comedy tour, and he might film that. I don't know. He just doesn't need the money.
Yeah, it's you and the
Thank
boys.
you. He's doing okay.
It's you and the boys doing the tour, right?
Yeah. Me and Adam Sandler, David Spade, and Nick Swartzen. Oh, thank you. It was a fun show. We were just up in Windsor. We had a ball up there. We felt like the 50-year-old Beatles. Yes.
All right. Considering who you made out with in Grown Ups, do you have a cougar fetish?
Do I have an old lady fetish? Not yet, but I'll keep it open. If I see a hot 60, I'm going for it.
Does Adam Sandler's voice ever get annoying on set?
Always. Especially when he says, do it again. Or he says, no. That's really annoying when you know you're not doing it the way he wants you to. No. I like when he says, just come up with something at the end, fix it. Good Lord. He came out the first line on a movie in 50 First Dates. Said, we need something at the beginning, what do you got? I said, what do you mean, what do I got? I got 3 hours of makeup while you're making out with Drew Barrymore. Now what do I got? So I had to come up with something. I was like, I don't know. And the cameras are rolling. What do you got? I go, sharks only try to bite you when you touch their private parts. And he said, okay, you got it. You got it. That's the only thing. It's the first thing I came up with. I said, no, it's good. Moving on. Another annoying thing he says. Moving on.
Hi, Rob. What is your opinion on benchwarmers?
I really like that movie. It's the first movie about bullying. I really liked it. It's a sweet movie. It's a movie that little kids can see with their parents, and the parents aren't completely embarrassed. And it's nice. It's a nice little movie. I mean, it holds up. Major League Baseball bought it. You know, they own it. So that's really nice. I'm very flattered by that. Because, you know, they show it all the time in MLB, and they don't just show anything. So it's a nice. I got to play baseball for 2 months. It was unbelievable. Willie Mays showed me how to hit a baseball. It was the greatest. So it was like, to me, it was a dream. And then after I forgot how to hit, they invited me to spring training, and I lost it. In 3 months, I completely lost it all. But that's a nice music, thank you.
And one more thing, can you shout out Sarah Nero for me, please?
What's that?
Sarah Nero, please.
Sarah what?
Can you shout out Sarah Nero, please?
Sarah Nerone?
Sarah Nero.
Sarah Nerode? Will somebody translate? What is it?
Nero.
Nero?
Yes.
Sarah Nero? Sarah Nero, you can do it! Or whatever sounds close to it.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
I was just wondering, in Demolition Man,
Okay.
how do you use the 3 seashells?
All right, this is gonna need
The 3 seashells is the toilet thing that happens where you don't need toilet paper and you go, "Is this no, so that's the no toilet paper." You gotta use, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. Well, the 3 seashells is like, there are little knobs underneath the toilet that actually, and a hose goes up your ass. That was the whole thing.
so it's a bidet.
So it's a
Whoever explained
futuristic
it, yeah.
bidet.
But I never used the bidet. Although I did the bidet.
But Stallone was very nice. After that, there was no lines in that movie. The guy Joel Silver said, "You'll figure it out." I said, "I've been doing it my whole career trying to figure it out." So we came up with some lines, you know, and it ended up being okay. And then Stallone called me after that. I said, "Hey, listen, Joe Pesci said no. You want to do this other movie with me? And you're cheaper." I said, "Yeah, how do I turn that down?" And he loved working with me because next to him he looks actually like a normal-sized person. Yes.
Hi, Rob. Out of all the movies you've made, which one did you have the most fun making and why?
God. Big Daddy was pretty fun because Adam Sandler's becoming a big movie star, and to seeing the difference in, like, you know, how the studio was kissing his ass. It was really fun because he got like he got offered to do like a movie with a monkey, and he said, "Okay, I'm out of the studio." It was in Universal, and he said, "Get out of here," you know. And then like they didn't like obviously respect and didn't see him as a big movie star, but he always knew, you know. And then when he had a movie that opened at like 39 million in October, the first movie to ever do that ever, and the same guy who offered him the role as a monkey gave him a big basket, the biggest, stupidest basket of flowers and, you know, twigs and trees from Japan, all this shit, you know, $5,000 bouquet of flowers. And then it said, the most kiss-assy note I've ever seen. "Adam, what's it gonna take to bring you home to our studio?" I was like, "Oh." And I was the one who said, "Throw that in the trash." But so it was fun being around him, and just him coming up with jokes the night before that we're gonna do the next day is thrilling, you know. For him to like, because he doesn't come from a place of fear or manipulation. He comes from a place of joy. When he comes up, he's like, oh, this could be, and he literally thinks it's the funniest thing ever. And a lot of times, it is, you know, really funny. And then I get into it and I go, "Oh, yeah, and I can do this." And it's a good shorthand because there's nothing, any actor will tell you comedy is the toughest. If they don't say that, they're lying. And I don't mean to diminish. You see, whenever you see the acting, there's 2 sides. There's the frown and there's the laugh, because comedy is tough. But when you miss in comedy, it's really obvious. You know, so you really want to hit, and it's harder. So if it's not working and you're with 2 guys who've been together for 20 years, we'll figure out something. Like, you know, like the movie Grown Ups, so we're not gonna have 5 guys strike out. You know what I mean? So you got 5 funny guys, and one of them will save us. And truthfully, the funniest guy in that movie was David Spade, in my opinion. He's become really interesting as an actor. Thank you, darling.
Hello.
You take the microphone. There you go.
Hello. Well, I'm doing this for my mom. I'm one of those daughters that have to come up and...
Okay.
Go up there and you can ask something. We didn't come all the way here. You go figure something. You'll figure out something. You're a smart person. Maybe it'll lead to something. He'll see you, your orange hair, and he'll go, "You're the actress I want for my next leading role." You get up there and think of something. You get up there and you don't come home tonight. You'll find a way back home. You don't get up there and you better come up with something clever, young lady. I know you got it in you. No pressure.
So what did Mom say?
Was, if you didn't become an actor, what else would you want to do as a career?
Gosh, I told my mom said the same thing.
Robert,
But she was a lot meaner.
Robert, what if this doesn't work out, huh? What are you gonna do then, huh? You have nothing, you have to finish college.
You know, and very Asians, women are tough. My goodness. I used to get straight A's. My mom got straight A's. So what? That's your job to get straight A's. You're not an idiot, huh? What do you want, a cookie? That's your job. You don't hear me going, "Hey, cooked and cleaned all day. What do I get? I cooked and cleaned all day." What do I get? You do your job, I do my job. It keeps the relationship nice and cold. But what would I have done? Probably a writer, but I just wanted to perform, and the thing about it was like, as a stand-up comic, you can perform sketches, because I wasn't getting work as an actor, so I started acting out all the roles on stage, and it kind of helped me get to sketch comedy, and that helped me get into movies, and then, I still feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like the thing on Netflix is the best thing coming up next month. I think, I hope. We've been working a year and 9 months on 8 episodes, because I remember Jerry Seinfeld told me, he's like, "Shit, I can't do 24 good. I could probably do 8 good." So that's what I'm working on.
Did you go to college?
I went to several colleges. I'm an alumni dropout at 3 colleges. But it was good though. But the thing about it was like when I started getting work as a stand-up, I went, "This is it. This is what I want to do." So my parents were not supportive at all of that until I started getting on TV, and they go, "We love it." But you have to do it. It's not about the money. You got to do what you love, and it's a short ride, no matter what it is you do. And just ride it out. And I've been very lucky to be able to, to do the things I love for as long as I'm doing it. A couple more years, I don't know. It's up to you guys if you watch it or don't. That's really what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell your mom you did great.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
I was just curious, the making copies routine from SNL, did you come up with that, or was
That was
written for
mine,
you?
even though other people have claimed it. And what happened was, I was in the writer's room, and what happened, they had so many casts, that was back in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, where there were more people in the cast than in the audience watching the show. We had it seemed to me like the introduction of the cast members and the feature players and the co-feature players was longer than the show itself. There was like 25 or 15, whatever it was, I'm exaggerating, but it's something like that. And so everybody got their own writer's room, their own office, but there wasn't an office enough for everybody, so they started dividing the offices in half. And then when that wasn't enough, they divided it in half and half. And I got the room that was the half room with no window, and it had the heating and cooling duct in there. So I was freezing and boiling, and I'm claustrophobic anyway. So I couldn't ever go in there. So I'd stay out in the writer's wing. And I noticed that you couldn't be as excited to see somebody the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time as the first time. So I see Kevin Nealon, "Kevin, you go to the bathroom 10 minutes later, Kevin, yeah. I come back, "What's up? Kevin." And I never had anything to say to somebody. And so I said, he had to come up with an idea that would be like, why would people come into contact with me? And so I said, well, they'd have to go make back then. They had to make copies. So that's what I came up with. It was really easy and stupid, but it worked.
Love that bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
At what point do you know it's working?
When you hear it and you're out in public and they don't know you're there.
Oh.
I was getting milk Sunday after that, and people were doing the sketch in the grocery store, not knowing I was in there. I said, okay, I think this one hit.
That's a great story. Yeah.
Hi, Rob. I was wondering, how did you feel playing your role as a woman in Hot Chick?
Vulnerable. very vulnerable. But I wanted to do it. I had Anna Faris, who's a brilliant actress. Quentin Tarantino called us after and said, I want to do a comedy with you. He never followed through with it, but he loved the two of us, our chemistry. And I just said, I'm going to do it innocently. Because like, as an actor, if you do too much, the audience doesn't do their work. You have to, I played the innocence of it, the childlike innocence. I said the audience will do their part. I was very lucky. I've had some very good people that I've worked with, Christopher Walken, Martin Landau, both Academy Award-winning actors. Scott Wilson is here today. And they've been very good influence on how to take a character and when to do. Martin Landau told me the most beautiful thing. We were doing a movie in Prague, and Martin Landau won the Academy Award for Ed Wood. And I was actually offered a role in Ed Wood with Johnny Depp in there, but I couldn't do it because I was on Saturday Night Live and Lauren wouldn't let me out, Lauren Michaels. But anyway, I'm not better. So basically, we went out drinking one night, and the next morning, Martin Landau said, "What did I tell you last night? It was a really, you know, it was I've never summed up acting in such a perfect way." And I'm like, you know, I said, "Well, you said," and I wrote it down on a beer card, and I was drunk too, so I had a beer card. And it said, "Find it, express it, suppress it." So basically, you can't, you need to suppress stuff, and maybe once in the movie, you get it open up like that. And like you never see the raw nakedness that way, so you're always holding something back. And so I figured like, that's been a good influence on coming up with roles, was you don't do too much, but you have to commit and know when to hit it hard. And like, I was able to work with the guys who wrote The Simpsons on The Hot Chick. That's why that's so good. Because you had Matt Selman, Dan Graney, Lou Morton, Ian Maxton Graham. These guys are brilliant writers. So they would come up with stuff, and we would sit in a room for like, I think it was 2 weekends, and then somebody would yell out, "You think you're so cool because you can pee with your penis." And then, because I had the joke about there's ice in here, and he doesn't know how to, she doesn't know how to use her penis, and so she's trying to look at this guy and go, And then that joke led to that joke, and then it was like, you don't pee in your girlfriend's panties, you know, which is Matt Selman's line. And then somebody came up with, you know, extra sugar on the rim, yum, and just, it was a bunch of silly, fun stuff. But it was also like, we were in a very silly mood, except when it came time to release the movie, and I decided to release it against Star Trek and Sandra Bullock, and we got murdered that weekend. So, but, you know, the movie has a life. Quentin Tarantino called me up after that movie because it didn't open as good as the numbers I wanted to. And if you want to be a big effing movie star, you have to open up in first place with blah, blah, blah. And he said, "Hey, listen, I saw it, I loved it, it's going to have a life." And here it is, 15 years later, and people are still watching it. So he was right. Thank you.
Hello. I was wondering where you got your inspiration for your character in The Ridiculous Six, and also what you thought about Taylor Lautner's character.
Thank you. That's a good story. I'm doing a book, and that's going to be one of the stories in there. Taylor Lautner's great. He is a really good actor, and he's a good kid, more importantly. You know, he grew up, his formative early adulthood was on those movies, those big, you know...
Twilight.
What were those ones called? Twilight movies, yeah. He went from 16 to 21, or 16 to 21 on those things. And part of that way, they said, well, if, you know, we're going to get somebody buff for this role, we're going to replace you. He said, "Give me some time." And then he got ripped. I mean, he's a guy who really does want it. And he's a sweetheart, and I asked him, were they nice? Did they treat you nicely on those movies? And he said this, "Eventually." He's a great kid. But I always like, when I do a voice or something, I always practice the dialect, and I get 2 tones. I get like a low tone, "Don't want to talk like this," and then I get a high tone. And so, basically what I wanted to do was the good, the bad, and the ugly Mexican, you know, a little bit, you know, with the only Jew who could play Mexican. He passed away now, thanks his name. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, Eli Wallach. So, and I got to meet him, you know, with Quentin Tarantino before he passed away. And Eli Wallach, and I said, "You're the only Jew who could ever play Mexican." He said, "I know, it's fantastic." So I felt like I can do that. But so I listened to the high voice, you know, because he was talking here like this, you know, and I said, okay, he's done that. "I thought it was more interesting to come down here and do the old voice like this." I tried to do that the whole time, you know. So I was smoking cigars and getting my voice as low as possible for the entire time. And, you know, the thing about being a heartthrob or being a leading man guy like Taylor Lautner is that being silly and being goofy is really tough. To play a tune, go, hi, how are you? Is not his place that he knows is going to help get him supermodels. You know what I mean? And so I saw him the first day. I say he was struggling a little bit because they put the tooth in and the wig, and he looked like Shemp, you know, from the Three Stooges. Hi! And I saw him kind of like go, holy shit, I got to do this now. And then I just said to him, I said, look, kid, you got to commit to this. The ones who look stupid are the guys who are afraid to look stupid. If you commit to this, people are going to love you. Anyway, when we're done with the picture, he gave me a big hug and said, boy, that helped me a lot, thank you. So he's a great kid. I'm very grateful to him.
And now you're a mentor.
And now, well, yeah, who knew?
Thank you.
But I'm right about that. Don't look silly. Don't be afraid to look silly or you're going to look really silly.
That's good advice for all of us.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
In the Benchwarmers, there's a lot of cool props in that movie, like John Lewis' character had a lot of cool props, like the Knight Rider car and all that. Have you taken any props from your movies or stolen any of them?
Any of the props? Well, I was doing a movie in Thailand many years ago, that Surf Ninjas movie, and Leslie Nielsen was there. And I said, Mr. Nielsen, that's a lovely suit you have on. He said, where'd you get that? He said, well, I got it off my last movie, young man. And I said, what do you mean? Well, I have it in my contract that I get to keep my wardrobe. And I called my agent, you effing a-hole, why didn't you tell me I could keep my wardrobe? You didn't tell me it was Nielsen, he gets his wardrobe. Anyway, my wife made me finally throw out 18 garbage bags worth of uniforms and stuff. I literally 18 garbage bags worth of old things. So I don't have it in my contract anymore because I don't want any more junk. But I got a couple of things, you know. Sylvester Stallone gave me the belt buckle from Judge Dredd. I don't know where it is, but I have that. And then I've got a couple of things from Saturday. Charlton Heston gave me one of his, the Ten Commandments. I have that in my office. You know, he was very nice to work with, very kind and nice. And I got a sandal from them. But he was the loveliest, one of the loveliest guys I've ever worked with, Charlton Heston. And he gets a bad rap because of he's pro-gun, but he also marched with Martin Luther King in 1961. He was a great guy before he was a celebrity, a cause celebrity. Anyway, so I got like a couple of things. Quentin Tarantino gave me. I got a sword from Kill Bill, you know. It's in my office from David Carradine. And so David Carradine, I worked with him right before he passed away, and he gave me the sword. I said, wow, thank you. So I got that. And I got some hats and stuff. And I try to steal as much as I can from Adam Sandler. I made him sign all these things from the shows we've done. He said, you got to sign on. So I have them here, you know, people want to buy it, I can have it or whatever. But I signed a lot of the posters, and that's about it. I didn't keep anything from the old days because I didn't know you needed it. In Saturday Night Live, I had nothing from. I wish I would have grabbed some of Chris Farley's gigantic pants or something, but anyway, thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
I would like to know, behind the scenes of the movie Animal, how much interaction did you actually get with the animals?
Well, that was a very difficult shoot because you're dealing with animals and they're just there to eat and try to kill you occasionally. Did you ever see the Clint Eastwood movie, Every Which Way But Loose? The guy who did that, the only guy in the world who can work with full-grown adult orangutans is a guy named Bobby Bersini. And the only way you can work with these animals is to convince them somehow you're stronger than them. And so it's difficult, you know. And I was supposed to work with Right Side Clyde, but they said, you know, this is a little dangerous. And I'm an idiot, so I said, well, let's try it. Anyway, so he freaked out the day before we were going to shoot, and Bobby Bersini distracted him and then grabbed him and threw him on his wheelchair, because that's what you have to drive him around. But he said, Robbie, we can't do the movie. I'm so sorry. I apologize, but he did something violent. And if it happens to you, then I'm telling you, it'd be bad for the movie, it'd be bad for me, it'd be really bad for you. And so So I said, so I need a orangutan. So we called up another orangutan guy, and he was at Universal, and it was a guy named Louis. And you can only work with the orangutans basically until they're about 11. When they grow in sizers, they just basically want to kill you. And Louis was great the first day. The second day, you know, he knew that he was stronger than me, didn't give a crap anymore, and he slapped me in the face, and I said, okay, we're done. But like the chimpanzees, what happens is if you're working at night, and I had a young director on that pick, and I said, you know, if we're working at night, these animals go to bed at night. The sun go down, they go down. The sun come up, they come up. So if you're working at night, like if you're working at like 8:30, it's like midnight to these 2 in the morning for these chimpanzees, and they start getting angry or whatever. And it's like they're getting angry at me. So, but we tried as best we could to be, you know, respectful to the animals. But it's difficult, you know. I wouldn't. I mean, it took a long time. But it was fun. I enjoyed it too. It was a challenge. I'll never be in that good a shape again in my life. No more nude scenes for me.
We got time for 2 more questions.
Okay, thank you.
I think my first memory of you is definitely in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you. That movie plays more than, I think Daniel Stern hates me because that plays more than the first one.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I was wondering how you liked working with Macaulay Culkin.
He's a very sweet, nice kid.
Cute.
Very nice, but you know, show business isn't healthy for adults. Can you imagine what it's like for, you know, 11-year-olds? We'd be in the dressing room in the trailer in front of the President Trump's building. He owned the plaza and insisted on being in it, in the movie. And then we'd be talking, joking around, and I'd try and look up with jokes, you know, he's 11, you know, and I bet I can make you say green. I said, I bet I can make you say blue. He said, no, you can't. I bet you right now I can make you say blue. Okay, or no, what is it? I said, make you say, I'm sorry, what's the joke? I make you say green, and it's like, what are the colors of the American flag? Red, white, blue. I told you I could say blue. No, you said green. I said, you know, and that's and he just loved jokes like that. And then we'd laugh and hang out in the trailer, and then he'd have to go to work, we'd have to go to work, and I would get out, and no one would bother me. He would get out and have his face in the middle of his bodyguard's back, have 2 other bodyguards around him. They'd have to inch across the street while they had 60 or 70 paparazzi trying to take pictures with them. This is before the selfie stick. They just had cameras on sticks trying to get any picture they could of this kid. And it was just not healthy for a kid. You know, but he was sweet to work with, and it's a nice little movie. And you know, Tim Curry, I was telling somebody today, Tim Curry, what a great actor. Because I was just a young actor at the time, and I just assumed like you try to do it one way and figure out the best way you can do it, and keep trying to do your line the best way. And then Tim Curry came across, and he would do the line like 8 different ways and not give a shit about how he did it. And each of them were good, and I went, oh my God, I suck. This guy's a genius. So that was like, I learned, you gotta learn. You know, so I learned to always come to set first and watch, see what happens, and figure out how to use the camera and what lens they're using, what the director's doing. Because I learned like the director was working with this really terrific actress, Dana Ivey, Broadway actress. And I'm just watching, and I don't know what he's trying to get from her. And after like 4 takes, oh, I get it. And then 7 takes, he wasn't getting it. By the 11th take, he didn't get what he was looking for, but he'd stop. It's okay, good. No, it's not good. He didn't get it. I know what he was trying to get. He didn't get it. And then I went like, oh, well, he's got to work with this actress more. If he breaks her spirit and thinks that he hired the wrong guy, there's a little mental thing. If he breaks her, then she's done. And I've seen that happen on sets before too, where somebody like, they know that you don't like what they're doing, and then they're done. I made a gigantic mistake on a movie called Big Stand, where I was directing that. It's a nice little movie that didn't get released properly, like it happens a lot of actors. It just happened to me. And I remember I was looking through the lens, and the actress was doing her lines, and you know, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm starring in the movie and directing it. I went, no! And it was just like what Adam Sandler would say to me. And then I realized that actress was just like 5 feet in front of the lens, going over her lines, and then she was gone. I couldn't get her back. I had to cut around her, blah, blah, blah. I was massaging her after that, telling her how much I loved her. You're the greatest. And it didn't matter. So you have to be very fragile. It's very fragile, somebody's confidence sometimes. And if they break, they're gone. So anyway, I don't know.
Thank you. Damn.
Shit happens.
So it does. One more question. Somebody want to give him a hand there? Oh, he's got it.
Yes.
It's close. There we go.
What's your favorite movie that you've ever made?
What's your favorite movie you've ever made?
Oof. Schindler's List.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, Saw. Man. I don't know. I don't really feel like. I feel like you know, people ask me, why are you still doing it? I feel like the next one's going to be the best. I feel like I still got something to prove. I feel like for me, I love when it's going really good. Like I was doing a scene with John Turturro in the movie Zohan with Adam Sandler. We were doing the scene in Arabic, and I said, boy, this is very difficult. We had to learn Arabic, you know. And we did it, and then we ad-libbed the scene, you know, later. And that scene was so good. It's basically I'm on the phone and I'm trying to get the, you know, the hotline for the terrorist hotline or whatever. It's anyway, so we're doing that, and then we just started ad-libbing while I'm eating this thing, and the numbers keep going and going. It was one of those things that went really good, and that ended up being such a good scene that they cut the other scene. With it, I worked so hard on trying to memorize the John Turturro. It's on the DVD. But that was a fun one. 51st Dates was special because I was working with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, and they were just beautiful movie stars. Drew Barrymore was this beautiful girl, and just like it was a sweet movie. That was fun. Deuce Bigelow was fun because I was actually the lead in the movie, and it was so small the studio didn't know what the hell we were doing. They never came and saw us. It was there, so they screwed up. They couldn't. By the time they tried to get in there and change it, too late. Freak, keep it in the circus. But it's fun. I will say it is a pleasure and a privilege to work in the movie business and television. And I think television is the new movie business. This, like I said, I hope you guys like Real Rob season 2 because it's really good and it's a pleasure to do. And like you never know what's going to happen. It's a weird business. I remember George Clooney saying one time, like, hey, you know, your next movie could be your last. One day you're going to be right. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's George freaking Clooney, who makes more money selling beer to Chinese people than he does making movies. Because he was doing this movie, and I'm so typecast as a comedian, it's tough for me to get other roles. He was doing this movie with John Goodman, blah, blah, blah. And I went like, how much is that movie? And it was like 44 million. I said, 44 million? They shoot an army for 40? How do you the hell? You're not paying anybody? He said, no, we're not paying anybody. We just want to do it for scale. They said, yeah, for you to do it for scale. They wouldn't do it for me for scale. So how are you making it? And I figured out what he did. He said, I get $10 million to do a beer commercial. I can do this for free if I want. And I said, you asshole, I can't do that. But the thing about it is like, it's fun, it's a joy, and you never know what's going to happen if you're open to it. And like, write your own stuff if you want to do the business. Adam Sandler and I only made it because we wrote our own material. That was it. You have to write your own. No one's ever going to give you a job. And if it's such great material, they're going to give it to somebody way more famous than me or whatever. Or you. So you have to just write your own material and get a chance to do it. He's the best. I'll just leave you with this story. I was doing a movie and they were doing the voice. I was doing a movie, Richard Gere was also promoting this movie in Brazil. And here's what happens. When you do movies overseas, they have to dub it. Like in Italy, in France, in Germany, you can't release a movie unless it's dubbed. And the dubbing union is a very strong union. In other words, they'll protest your movie if they don't get a chance to work on it and dub it. So anyway, I'm in Brazil, and then Richard Gere's doing a movie, and I'm promoting fucking one of these movies. I have to choose my language. I'm promoting one of these things. And then the guy who did Richard Gere's voice, I had a guy doing my voice, and the guy doing Richard Gere's voice had just won the lottery. And he said, that's it, I retire, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, I have my done Richard Gere for 30, he did Richard Gere for 30 years. They said, can you please just do this one more movie? You know, this is Sony Pictures. Can you please just do one more for us? Just this last one for us, please. They said, no, I'm retired now. I won the lottery. That's a blah, 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 blah. So anyway, the movie came out. And the whole time, the audience is watching in Brazil. People are like, that's not Richard Gere. Because they get used to his voice, you know? It's like Robert De Niro's in Germany is Robert De Niro in Germany for the last 50 years. Robert De Niro in Italy, the same guy. People get used to that voice. And people ask, like, you know, like Rich, you know, what's his face? Jerry Lewis had the biggest hits in France, the biggest comedies ever in France. And it's because the guy who did his voice was the greatest comedian of all time in France, Louis de Funès. So when Louis de Funès, anything he did was hysterical, even if he's voicing Jerry Lewis. After Louis de Funès died, Jerry Lewis never had another hit in France. So you better hope your voice guy's a good guy. Any last questions, any other things, anybody?
No, I think we're good.
Yes. Oh. I was stalking him when he was 19, and I went, just in case this kid makes it, I better get close to him. No, he was a comedian on the East Coast, the youngest in his family. I was the youngest comedian on the West Coast. I got to David Letterman first, and he was like, who the hell's that guy? And I'd heard about him and Chris Rock, because they were running this comedy magazine called Comedy USA, tiny, and I read about them in the comedy club, and I went, who are these guys? They seem kind of cool. So it was like a naturally competitive thing. And then he came out to LA, and he was doing a set out of this crappy little place. It was at a comedy club in a Hilton in the Valley, and I was there. And I saw him, the only two people laughing at him that night was me and him laughing at himself. And I just took him outside after, and I said, let's go get a beer, kid, you know, because I was a year older than him, 2 years older than him. And I said, you're gonna be huge, and I'm never wrong. And it's I said that only because somebody said that to me like a week before, and it sounded good. But he never forgot that. You know, and we always, when he got to Saturday Night Live, I took him, and I said, come on, you use my dressing room, we'll write a sketch together. And he's a guy like, whenever like I did bench warmers, some comedian I never heard of came in and said, okay, what did you do to Adam Sandler that was nice that he's bringing you here 25 years later? And sure enough, he'd have a story. Well, I told him how to put his first 5 minutes together. And the next thing you know, he's there. So he's the most incredibly nicest guy in the history of show business, you know, and he's been nice enough to bring us along to ride in his incredible success. Well, thank you for coming down. I hope you enjoyed it.
It's your Rob on the show floor. Rob Schneider, ladies and gentlemen.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. For more Toxic Pop, visit our website at toxicpop1.wixsite.com/toxicpop. Email us at toxicpop1@gmail.com and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/toxicpop1 and Instagram at instagram.com/wearetoxicpop. Links are in the description.